Welcome to Tampa, and welcome to the American Conference on ESPN. Just about set for game time between the South Florida Bulls and the Alabama Crimson Tide. What an opportunity for USF with the 10th ranked Tide in town to take them on. Bob Wischusen, Robert Griffin III, Chris Budden with us as well, and Chris has news on the Alabama quarterback situation to kick us off.
Yeah, Nick Saban expected to make a change at quarterback today, going with Tyler Buchner, although trying to get 100% confirmation pregame, he was not able to give that to us. However, Tyler Buchner took all first-team reps today. When we talked with Saban yesterday about how he would evaluate the quarterbacks, he said, we need someone that can beat good competition. And if Jalen Milroe, who started last week against Texas, was not that guy, then we need to find someone on our team who can. Milroe started the last two games, had 2 interceptions in the loss to Texas. There was a nice moment pregame when running out onto the field with the rest of the quarterbacks. Milroe was the one talking to them pregame, giving them words of encouragement and running them out on the field. Still trying, Bob, to show that leadership despite having his job taken away.
It is good to see that. RG3, though, your thoughts. Tough loss to Texas.
Yep.
Milroe did not play well, but it just goes to show you the pressure of being the quarterback at Alabama for Nick Saban. You don't get much of a leash, and it turns out now it seems like he's lost his job.
Yeah, if the decision is made to replace Jalen Milroe, I just want people at home to know that I don't think that Nick Saban is prioritizing the team over Milroe's development. He just doesn't know what he has at the quarterback spot right now. If you think back to when Jalen Hurts was replaced by Tua Tagovailoa, everyone knew you were going from great quarterback to great quarterback because Jalen Hurts was 26-2 as a starter. Jalen Milroe started 3 games. Tyler Buchner may have appeared in 13, but he's only started 3 games as well. So this game could have been an opportunity for Milroe and the offense to get their consistency back and obviously get on a better note going into conference play. But it's also a great opportunity for Tyler Buchner to show Nick Saban what he can do before the real bullets start flying in the SEC.
It has to hurt for Jalen Milroe. I guess to a certain extent as well, though, you know what you're signing up for when you come to play quarterback at Alabama. These are not long seasons. You lose 1 or 2 games. And all of the hopes you have if you're Alabama, which, let's be honest, every season for the Tide begins with hopes of a college football playoff and a national championship. So you go into the season, no, you might not be playing with much, if any, net. It's got to be hard for Nick Saban to not push that button and not be fair to the rest of his team.
Correct. And listen, we don't know if Jalen Milroe gives this team the best chance to win or if it's Tyler Buchner. But we do know that Alabama got embarrassed at home last week. And the expectation for Alabama fans is not just winning. It's national championship. So 2 losses can't happen. And one way or another, he's going to find out who his quarterback is today.
Well, Alabama will start with the football, and they'll start at their own 25-yard line. So we will have our first chance to see Tyler Buchner under center. Of course, the Notre Dame transfer. Now the starting quarterback in Tuscaloosa, but South Bend over a couple of seasons. He appeared in 13 games last season, a couple of games injured his shoulder, came back for Notre Dame's bowl game, and then decided to transfer and follow Tommy Rees's offensive coordinator down to the SEC to play for the Crimson Tide. And he starts at his own 25-yard line, and they will be looking today for much better play out of their offensive line as well.
And it starts with the center's snap right there. Perfect, right on the money.
There goes Jase McClellan, bouncing it to the numbers. Outside, in front of the Alabama bench, all the way out to the 44-yard line. Picks up 19 on the game's first play, brought down by Logan Berryhill.
One thing Alabama wanted to do coming into this week was obviously own the line of scrimmage. You see them bring the motion, and Jase McClellan rides the wave. And look at that big gaping hole in the middle of the defense. That's exactly what you want if you're Alabama.
Buchner a swing pass. McClellan, blockers out in front. A little jitterbug move to midfield. He picks up 6 more.
The thing that Tommy Rees loved about Tyler Buchner was the fact that he said he operates with great tempo. Now, there might be some confusion that, hey, he knows this offense like the back of his hand because him and Tommy Rees both came from Notre Dame, but this is not Tommy Rees's offense. This is the Alabama offense, and we'll get into that a little bit more later.
Third straight touch for McClellan. This time he's bottled up. And the Bulls defense gets a tackle for loss and forces a 3rd down. Rashad Cheney made the stop. So you're right, Tommy Rees comes down. You would think an offensive coordinator might have his quarterback follow him and say, oh, I'm familiar with that system. No, it was on Tyler Buchner and Tommy Rees to learn this Alabama offense, not the other way around.
Exactly, and that's why it might have taken him a little bit more time to get comfortable in this system and with these teammates, because he's so new to everything.
Buchner bullets one to the sideline, incomplete. He missed Jermaine Burton. The punt group starts to form up on the Alabama sideline.
Just a little bit behind the receiver here by Tyler Buchner. Yeah, Jermaine Burton would have been a nice catch if he made it. But if you're the quarterback, you want to make sure you get that ball out on time and in rhythm so you can hit him right out of his break on the outside shoulder.
So now Nick Saban will send James Burnham, the Australian punter, out there to try and change field position. The intentional end-over-end kick, Sean Atkins will let it drop. And it takes a good hop for Alabama as it stays out of the end zone and is down at the 11-yard line.
And of course, we got the next quarterback, Byrum Brown from South Florida. Got a little bit of razzle-dazzle to him. He can move it with his legs, and he can also throw the ball deep with his arm. This kid is only 18 years old, and this is probably the biggest game he's ever played in his life. And they're going to need the best game of his life to come away victorious today.
He's got the Florida transfer, Naquan Wright, to his right. So a redshirt freshman going up against Alabama. And quarterback run on first down. And he grinds out maybe a half yard. Looks like he was actually brought down right about at the line of scrimmage by Tresman Marshall. Loss of a half yard, in fact.
Not surprised they're trying to get Byrum Brown's legs involved early, because Alabama has had a tendency to struggle against mobile quarterbacks, but nice job sniffing that one out.
Naquan Wright gets a push from his offensive line and picks up a handful, so now it will be third down and about 5. And if you have seen fast offenses in college football, not many compared to the pace with which USF can play. They want to go NASCAR fast as often as possible.
You call it NASCAR fast, we call it breakneck speed. That's the tempo that they're going at.
It doesn't do your defense any favors, though, if you get 3 and outs.
Not at all, because the most important thing with an up-tempo offense is getting that first down so your defense can rest.
Blitz. Spinning out is Brown. Trying to turn the corner and has no chance to get anywhere near the line to gain. Dallas Turner. The speed to the edge to track down Byrum Brown.
Ooh, I don't know if Byrum Brown's ever seen speed like this coming from the linebacker position. But as you see him go backdoor, he tries to get outside. He said, oh, I got it. And Dallas Turner said, you are not turning the corner on me, man. These Alabama defenders, they're big, but they're also fast.
So a 3 and out after a punt down to the 11-yard line is just what Alabama was hoping for. They flip the field, and they may get excellent field position here as the 29-year-old punter, Andrew Stokes, another Australian, kicks it from the goal line. And this a wobbly kick that barely gets to midfield and takes a sideways hop out of bounds. So Alabama will start just on their side of the 50. Beautiful day for football here in Tampa as the teams exchange punts to begin. Bob Wischusen and Robert Griffin III, Chris Budden back here in Tampa. Time for Three's Keys early on here in the opening quarter.
Oh, we love this segment right here. Three's Keys to the game. The first one is going to be Tide of Chucky. Alabama has to be South Florida's worst nightmare tonight on the line of scrimmage and show that they will bully the Bulls into submission. Paid in bull. South Florida, hey, man, if you're going to fail big. Go for it. Use your tempo. Blitz on defense, and the last one is Nuck if you buck. He's on the field right now. Can Tyler Buchner show that he can be the quarterback, or did his luck end with the Irish?
Oh, that time he faced the rush. Tried to flip one to Isaiah Bond, but Jalen Stokes was right in his face and forced the wobbly release.
Right here as a quarterback, you want to get a little bit of depth off that fake so that you can navigate the football over the jumping defender.
That wobbly pass, throwing one behind Burton on the last drive. You see some jitters here as Spons on a little bubble screen picks up a handful? Is this a time where if Tyler Buchner was coming over to the sideline and you're the quarterback's coach, it's about maybe settling him down a little?
100%. And Tyler Buchner is not a guy that's non-mobile. He has mobility to his game as well. If I was Tommy Rees, would try to get him outside the pocket so he can run and feel like he's a part of the game.
USF just trying to get lined up on defense. 3rd down and 4.
If you're asking yourself at home, who is their 3rd down guy? Nobody knows because they haven't been efficient enough in this area of the game so far.
4-man rush. Buchner lobs one to the sideline. The catch made by Burton. Did he toe tap? He did not.
Jinx, by the way. We said it at the same time. You see right here, he needed to drag that toe. Wide receivers, when you get close to the sideline, know where you are, and sometimes you're going to have to fall, right? Take that tiptoe, catch the football, and fall on your face to make that catch.
So the punt group back out, again trying to pin USF deep. Burnett will kick it to Sean Atkins. And again, angling the end-over-end kick. Atkins looks like again's going to let it drop. And this time it takes the hop that the Bulls need into the end zone as we have time now for our Aflac trivia question.
Aflac.
Pro broadcaster, by the way, just consider you have to wait for the duck. Now I can give you the question. Nick Saban, 6 national titles at Alabama. How many times did the Crimson Tide finish one of those championship seasons with a loss? This is the kind of the theme. The end of the world did not occur last week because you lost to Texas.
Correct.
Type of a theme. Texas, by the way, a very good team.
They are
talked
good.
about that.
They're a top 5 football team.
No doubt. Naquan Wright to the left of Byron Brown. Brown misdirection. Wide open in the flat. Atkins, the former walk-on, spins for 7. Where's number 38 as arguably their best receiver, because that was the number they gave him as a walk-on. He said, you know what, I'm not going to change to a single digit or something in the 80s. This is my number, and he never changed it.
He's paying homage to his walk-on roots. You got to respect it. But I really like that first play call, allowing Byron Brown to get out. Even a little semi-motion like that will get you to feel a part of the game as a quarterback.
Up the middle, pops his way for a 1st down and more. Caleb Downs felt every bit of Naquan Wright.
Listen to this one. Yeah. It's fair to say that Naquan Wright just baptized that man.
Brown, long throw to the sideline, incomplete, up over the head of Naeem Simmons. So it will be 2nd down and 10. Kool-Aid McKinstry was draped all over Simmons.
Woo. You want to talk about a play that can really get not only the crowd into the game, but your team. That last run by Naquan Wright, that was physical. You know, South Florida told us in the meetings this week that they wanted to be the more physical team, and that's a tough task against Alabama, but right there they showed it.
And there's Naquan Wright plowing ahead for 4 more. This is a young man that growing up in Miami, and in Miami Gardens specifically, when he was 11 years old, he was struck in the chest by a bullet from a drive-by. A ricochet hit him in the chest. He was brought to the hospital. Again, at the age of 11, his family was mistakenly told that he died.
Wow.
And fought his way back. Nerve damage in his hand because of the shooting. Even a broken ankle in high school slowed down his recruiting. Went to Florida, and now here he is at USF playing against the Tide. Brown tries to get loose and squeezes his way back to the line of scrimmage. Brought down by Dallas Turner.
Really good job by Alabama there, not just collapsing the pocket, but then once they knew that Byron Brown was going to try to break out to the edges, they went into their chase lanes, right? You want to contain quarterbacks who can beat you with their arm and their legs, and that was the perfect example of it right there.
In a field position game, which this has been early on, that's not a bad possession, though, for USF, just to get, after the touchback from their own 20-yard line, out closer to midfield for this punt, but that is not at all the punt that they were looking for. It takes a great roll, and it's touched by Alabama. McKinstry, it looked like, deflected the ball, and USF has it on the special teams giveaway.
And you see the punter right there. He's saying, you know what? I did that on purpose. I punted it that bad just on purpose to get McKinstry right here to drink too much of the Kool-Aid and have it bounce off his leg, and South Florida gets the ball back. Early in this game, when you're Alabama, you do not want to make the opposing team feel like they have a chance. Right now, they're giving South Florida life because of the mistakes that they're making.
That punt only traveled 28 yards, at least in the air.
Bob,
once it hit the deck, though, it created an opportunity, as McKinstry obviously should have just let it roll. He came up to try and field it in traffic. And USF in plus territory for the first time on the giveaway.
Bob, you could have punted that ball 28 yards.
It's on the further
100%.
review.
Well, it looks like the replay booth wants to weigh in on what we just saw. So we'll step aside as well. And we are back. The turnover confirmed and a shot taken by Byrum Brown. I'm not sure what element of the play the replay booth thought was at issue, as the punt that we saw a moment ago clearly hit Kool-Aid McKinstry, and it was clearly covered up by DJ Harris of USF. So it is indeed a takeaway, a shot taken, and now it's 2nd down and 10 for the Bulls. Play action again for Brown. Well protected, floats one over the middle, incomplete. Overthrew Chopry Brown, and now it's 3rd down and 10.
You've seen 2 shots. They're trying to capitalize off of the turnover by the Alabama Crimson Tide. Just missed both of them a little bit. Obviously, the first one to Sean Atkins, number 38, was just too far to throw into double coverage. That one right there by Chopry Brown, he had an opportunity to hit him. Just put it closer to the receiver and give him an opportunity to make a play on the ball.
Now they are right now, at least according to Alex Golish, on the cusp of John Cannon's field goal range. And if Brown takes a sack, they'd be out of field goal range. He does well to get about 4 yards, hit the deck, and the ball popped free, but he was clearly down.
If the runner is down, it would be 4th down.
Tresman Marshall missed a chance at a sack. And if he brought down Brown behind the line of scrimmage, that would have been outside of what they said they believe John Cannon, the walk-on kicker, is capable of in terms of his field goal range.
Yeah, you can see right there that he's clearly down before the ball pops up. But how about that Houdini act in the backfield there? Very nicely done by Mr. Byrum Brown to give his kicker an opportunity to put them in the lead.
From 44 yards away, this would be a new career long for Cannon. It's got the distance. And it sneaks inside the right upright. So South Florida strikes first. The Kool-Aid McKinstry muffed punt sets up Cannon from 44. USF on top early. All right, Kev, thanks very much. As Nick Saban's team finds themselves down by 3, having turned it over on special teams. And now our answer to the Aflac trivia question.
Aflac.
Nick Saban, he's won 6 national championships at Alabama. How many times have the Crimson Tide finished those seasons with 1 loss?
I'm going to say 4.
Boy, you're good.
Really?
Really, really good. Actually, 2015, we were asking him when we talked to him last night, and he mentioned 2015 as a year that he thought could compare to this season.
Right.
Because going back to 2007 all the way up to the present, not only 6 national titles, but since the first title that he won back in 2009, Saban has never gone 3 years without winning another one.
Ooh.
So if you're a 4-year player at Alabama, basically during Nick Saban's tenure, you've won at least 1 national championship while you've been there. So they all, at one point or another, if you're a 4-year player, have a ring. And 4 of those teams did indeed have a loss. And he mentioned, if you go back to 2015, they got walloped, gave up 43 points to Ole Miss early in the season, made a quarterback change, and ended up going on to win the national championship.
And I know all the fans at home are pointing at that and saying, hey, look, Tyler Buchner's in there now. This will be reminiscent of 2015. But this is not the start that they wanted to this game against South Florida. They wanted to come out and literally crush them on the line of scrimmage. And right now, they're down by 3 in a game that many people thought they'd already be up by 21.
Brendan Farrell is the kickoff specialist. Terrion Arnold from the goal line. Gets to the 20. Flag down. Turns the corner. Arnold's going to be tough to catch. A convoy down the sideline will have to check the marker. As it stands now, it's a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown for Terrion Arnold. But a couple of flags thrown all the way back inside the Alabama 30-yard line.
Holy cow. What a return.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 35, the 10-yard penalty in the spot of the foul. First down, Alabama.
So here we have the replay. And right there, you see him as he's trying to block. He just pulls the man down with, oh my goodness, he hit him with a hitch kick too.
Jeremiah Alexander commits the holds, and that certainly impacted the ability of Terrion Arnold to get to the sideline.
I just want Terrion Arnold to know that we all saw that, okay? Everyone watching the broadcast just saw that return. Phenomenal job. Alabama has stopped shooting themselves in the foot. This has been a big problem for them over the past 2 years of getting penalties that are taking points off the board.
That snap nearly mishandled by Buckner, and Chase McClellan tripped up at the line of scrimmage by Jonathan Ross. He picked up about 1.5 yards. How about special teams mattering in a huge way early? A special teams penalty backs Alabama up and erases a touchdown. And Kool-Aid McKinstry on a punt return muff where he touched a bouncing ball, set up South Florida for the game's first points. And now a timeout called by USF on defense.
Prior to the snap, timeout, South Florida, for the first of the half.
So Alex Golish's team off to a good start. 6.5 to go in the opening quarter. Again, speaking yesterday to Nick Saban about that 2015 season when a big loss to Ole Miss in the third game of the season led after Cooper Bateman and Jake Coker were sharing quarterback duties to start the season. It became Coker's job full time, and they started to roll, and roll they did all the way to a national championship. So Nick Saban told us yesterday he still believes that this team, for all the flaws that they saw in that Texas game last week, is a good enough roster to have an outstanding season. They have now made a quarterback change, at least to this point, with Tyler Buckner. He's maintaining his confidence in this group.
Yeah, and the thing about that year in 2015 was they didn't have just elite quarterback play like they got from guys like Bryce Young and Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa. That's what they want to get back to. They just want to sustain drives, run the football, and play great defense.
There's a slant. Nice play action fake by Buckner. And Isaiah Bond has a catch for a first down, a gain of 13.
You know, Coach Saban said something to us in the meetings that really stuck with me. He said, when you have success, people think you can't lose. And that's something that Alabama just hasn't been doing a lot of. They have not lost a lot all the time. So when you look at their schedule and their record against non-conference opponents, they've only lost 3 regular season games in 17 years with Saban as the coach.
Roydell Williams for a couple of yards. Let's check in with Chris.
Robert, to your point, he followed that up with saying, you know, people are often paranoid. It means people are out to get you all the time, and that's the standard we've set. So it's okay to be paranoid. You should be paranoid, because at the top, you want everyone coming after you. He wants his guys to be able to play to that standard, feel like we have something to protect at the top. Play a little paranoid.
Exactly, and to finish off my point, they lost 2 of those games in 2007 and then 1 last week to Texas. And Coach Saban is just screaming to his players, losing twice is not an option.
That play action fake bootleg did not fool the pass rush of Daquan Evans. Day-Day Evans came through untouched and went after Buckner. That forced the quick release, and now it's 3rd down and 9.
Nice job of Daquan Evans there. As you said, they call him Day-Day for closing the space on the quarterback and making sure he could not breathe as he was trying to come out. So now we're sitting here at 3rd and 9. They've got to get number 3, Jermaine Burton, rolling.
Four-man rush. Buckner, incomplete. Well short of Ja'Cory Brooks. And it will be another Alabama punt.
And you're sitting there on 3rd and 9, and I said I got to get Jermaine Burton rolling. He's not even on the field. But now you're seeing a guy in Ja'Cory Brooks who we haven't seen really make any plays this year, but he's one of their most experienced wide receivers out there. They've got to figure out what quarterback, what wide receiver combinations are going to give this team the best chance to be successful, because right now they have nothing. They have no identity on offense.
A booming punt, but room for Atkins for a return from inside his own 15-yard line. And he won't get much. Good kick coverage by Alabama, and that changes field position. Malik Benson made the stop after a 59-yard punt. We've got 2 ESPN primetime games tonight. First, Tennessee, Florida at 7 Eastern, and then Coach Prime and number 18, Colorado, square off against Colorado State and the Rocky Mountain Showdown. What a night for football, and what a scene it was for game day earlier today. The sunglasses, they are not coming off anytime soon, no matter what the other coach says.
You know, Bob, the crazy thing about Coach Prime is that nowadays the generation even forgets that he's a Hall of Fame cornerback, arguably the greatest of all time. I think he's the greatest, right? But he's on his way to becoming a Hall of Fame coach if he can continue on this trajectory.
Swing pass to Mikey Dukes. Gets a block. Follows those blockers. Has about 8, maybe 9 yards on first down. Brought down by Justin Eboigbe, but not before creating second down and short.
And what you're going to see from this USF offense is they're going to stretch the field. They're going to make Alabama run sideline to sideline and keep the tempo high to try to tire them out.
Screen out to the edge. Easy first down pickup for Kelly Joyner. And you played for a team that liked to run quick tempo offense. And you said there were times against big-time opponents where you wouldn't. You would slow it down. How'd that work out for you?
Oh, it didn't work out at all. We ended up getting our tail beat even worse.
Play action for Brown. Joyner on a misdirection. Picks up 4. So you believe in the philosophy of big bad Alabama comes in, but if we run up tempo, let's not try and shorten the game if you're USF. They should be who they are. Yeah, what gives us the best chance to win, and that's being ourselves. And that's exactly what head coach Alex Golesh said they were going to do. We're going to run our tempo. We're going to run our plays because that's what we know how to do. Slowing it down would be saying we're afraid of you, Alabama, and they're saying that they're not. Tipped ball, Kool-Aid McKinstry, incomplete. It looked like he may have picked it off on the dive as it went through the hands of Naeem Simmons. McKinstry just that close to a takeaway to redeem himself for the muff punt. Yeah, they've got a wide open receiver right there. Nice throw, just goes right through the hands of the wideout. Kool-Aid was just a step behind. So now it's 3rd down and 6. Play clock winding down. And Byron Brown, who will turn 19 at the end of this month, will most likely have to call timeout. Down to 1, it goes to 0, and a timeout called by Alex Golesh from the sideline. So USF down to 1 timeout remaining here in the first half. ESPN Plus is the home of over 30 AAC football games, as well as Mining for Greatness, the weekly Charlotte football documentary. The new show drops every Thursday at 7 Eastern. Coming in November, get an all-access look at the FAU men's basketball team as they get set to run it back. And how about our featured football games on ESPN Plus tonight? Oklahoma State hosts South Alabama. Texas Tech hosts Tarleton State. And Auburn hosts Samford at Jordan-Hare. Coverage of all 3 games begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. To get ESPN Plus, go to ESPNplus.com or download the ESPN app. And by the way, if you're an AAC fan, you have to have that app as well. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com/AAC. So after the second USF timeout, it's 3rd down and 6 at their own 35-yard line. And if you saw on that last play, they're looking to the sideline, call it look at me. They're just changing up the tempo on Alabama to constantly keep them guessing. Right here, they're going to try to find a mismatch in the slot. Tide bring a blitz. Brown escapes, gets to the sideline, and cruises for a first down. They brought pressure, and Brown found an escape hatch and picked up 12. We always tell quarterbacks who can be mobile, when it's time to go, make sure you go. Right there, Byron Brown went through his first 2 reads. No one was there, put his foot in the ground, and got vertical. Dukes looking for running room and finds 4 yards, even in all that traffic up front.
You know, when talking to offensive coordinator Joel Gordon, as we said, head coach Alex Golesh calls the plays, but Gordon is helping. He said, we just have to run the football good enough. We know this Bama front is very stout, but we're not going to abandon the run in this game.
Brown again on the move. This time tripped up behind the line and sacked. Back to the 45-yard line by Deontay Lawson.
They're getting that pressure right now on Byron Brown, and you see him try to get out and go, but Deontay Lawson, this guy's a tackling machine.
They wanted to go quicker than they could on 3rd down and 12, but Michael Brown-Stevens, one of their wide receivers, before the sack running a go route. He was 40 yards down the field, so he had to get back onside and get lined up.
And they didn't want him to come off the field because then Alabama would also be able to sub. But in that situation, you probably should sub him out.
4-man rush. Screen out to the edge. Simmons. And now what do you do if you're Alex Golesh? It's 4th down and about 3.5. He said they were going to be very aggressive and go for it when they could today.
Yeah, if you fail big. They should go for it here on 4th and 3. For all the guys out there, shoot or shoot, man. You got to go for it. Send that DM. All you can say is no. Right here for South Florida, all that can happen is you turn the ball over on downs, which is a bad thing, but show everybody in this stadium you're here to win.
4th and 3. USF will go for it. Alabama again brings pressure. The pocket collapses, and the Crimson Tide get the takeaway on downs. Dallas Turner. Boygby was there as well. The sack, a loss of 4, and it gives Alabama the football in plus territory.
Well, I guess she said no, Bob, because Dallas Turner seems to have a home-seeking device on Byron Brown getting him. But look at the coverage on the outside. I mean, there must have been a miscommunication at the top of the screen because it does not look like these receivers for South Florida are running routes to get a 1st down on 4th and 3.
So now what can Alabama do with terrific field position starting just across the 50-yard line? Play action for Buckner. He escapes. He's got running room and dives to the 41-yard line to pick up 8.
Alabama fashions themselves as a downhill 3-level throwing play action team. And right there, they tried to take a shot just like South Florida did after a turnover. Good job by Buckner getting vertical and getting positive yards.
Screen and a diving attempt by Malik Benson. That's a quick throw by Buckner that was inaccurate. No gain. Down to Chris.
You know, Bob, sometimes when the players make mistakes, you see an angry Nick Saban. Haven't seen that today. A very encouraging Saban. After that last drive, Buckner came off the field. He went and had a small conversation with them. He has said all week, do not waste a failure.
He said last week, rather than having 5 drive-stopping plays, we had about 15. You can maybe handle a handful during a game, but not 15 of them. And here's Buckner with a little dead leg move on 3rd down to pick it up. He faked out Jalen Stokes.
Right here, you see Tyler Buckner make the read. Dean goes down, he pulls it, and I'm sure he played basketball because that was a sexy little dead leg right there by Buckner to get inside and get the 1st down. All my athletes out there, make sure y'all play multiple sports because right there it showed up for Tyler Buckner on the football field.
A light rain starting to fall at Raymond James Stadium. Roydell Williams behind the line. It is Tramel Logan who went for a piggyback ride and brought him down for a loss of 2. That might take us to the end of the quarter, depending on how quickly Alabama can get lined up. It does not look like they will get another snap off for the end of the quarter. So with some rain falling in Tampa. After 1 quarter of play, USF has the 3-0 lead. We'll come back after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. Well, it has been a roller coaster for USF in recent years. 2016, 2017, they were a 10-win team despite going from Willie Taggart to Charlie Strong. But the wheels started to fall off over Strong's last 2 seasons. In 2018, his team started 7-0. Then through Jeff Scott, now Alex Golesh, this program is 8-43 since then. And obviously Alex Golesh He's come from winning programs, most recently Tennessee, and he is trying to not just instill winning football, but literally a winning culture. I mean, they have rehearsed in practice how to celebrate touchdowns.
Yes.
That's how much he wants to change things. After the timeout, Buckner. And that falls incomplete on 2nd down and 12 in what is now a driving rainstorm here in Tampa.
Yeah.
Prentice, the intended receiver.
It looks like a monsoon out there right now, and it's certainly not a great environment to try to get your offensive consistency in the passing game going. But going back to Alex Golesh, he told us, you know, this team right now has a 17-game losing streak against FBS opponents. The culture wasn't atrocious when he got here. He simply said it was non-existent. So he's trying to create that foundation for them, and this game goes a long way towards that.
They'll run it with Roydell Williams, and he won't get much. Barely back to the line of scrimmage. This defense for USF is gaining confidence, as it looks like they will get yet another stop, and it will be the punt group to come back out for Alabama. And it's getting hard to see the field, it's raining so hard.
Yeah, you see all those little raindrops on the camera, and guess what? This USF defense is dropping bombs on the Alabama offensive line, firing to the football. And you know, Bob, I was at Baylor when people called us little old Baylor, and they said, you know, this is going to be a steamroll of a game, and we took offense to that. Now, USF has their crowd in this football game, and Alabama certainly didn't want to make them feel like they had a chance.
A touchback on the punt. So it will come out to the 20-yard line for USF. They're having fun on the river. Feels like they're in a river in the stadium, and they've got a 3-0 lead.
I know you guys have seen Alabama's offense struggle, but this defense is doing exactly what they're supposed to. Watch Dallas Turner here. Starts on the line, drops back out, and he's tracking Byron Brown down all around the field. And then you got Deontay Lawson. Watch this. It's kind of a little run blitz, but no. He's saying you cannot block me. It feels like this Alabama defense has a tracking device on Byron Brown, one of those air tags, because every time he tries to get out of the pocket, they swarm and they make sure he's not going anywhere.
And now, in a deluge, Brown starts from his own 20-yard line with a sprint out. Tucks it under, and he'll lose at least 2 yards. It was a one-man route. Sean Atkins was bottled up in the secondary, and Chris Braswell tracked Byron Brown all the way to the sideline.
There it is again. They got that air tag on him, Bob. And when you play in a game like this, when it starts to become, should we say, the elements take over, the team that owns the line of scrimmage and can run the football is the one that's going to win the game if this continues. You would think that would benefit Alabama, but right now they're still not quite winning at the point of attack.
Quarterback run. Brown tripped up and brought down after a gain of 5 by Deontay Lawson. And what you will start to see, at least on the television side here, are some static cameras, because with the rain falling as much as it is, I mean, it's September in Florida.
Right.
Not stunning that you would have storms in the area. We have to take our camera folks and move them to safety. Apparently, it's still okay for the game to continue, but some of the perches we've got our camera folks set up on, they have to head undercover until the worst of the weather passes. 3rd down and 7.
Of course, we want them to stay safe. We'll try to make sure we can bring this game to you the best way possible.
That's Naquan Wright getting the pitch out, gets to the sideline, gets to the 30-yard line. He's got a first down. They run it on 3rd down and 7 and pick up 8. Terrion Arnold and Jalen Key sandwich him out of bounds.
For an injured player.
And now we've got Key down as well after he was just able to return to the lineup last week. So we will step aside. An injury timeout. 12:44 to go before halftime. (3-0) USF, but we are now in a weather delay. Not surprising, as hard as the rain was falling, that there would be some lightning in the area as well. Well, turns out there was a lightning strike only a few miles away from the stadium, so by rule and for safety's sake, they have cleared the field, and they're asking all of the fans to head to safety as well. So we will see how long this weather delay lasts. But USF, to this point, About 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter, has a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, 3-0 lead, and obviously want everyone to stay safe. And maybe that lightning strike away from the stadium will help get some electricity on the field when they come back out, because I can only imagine what Nick Saban is saying to his team in that locker room right now. This could be a good reset for the Crimson Tide.
Now, the Alabama players probably hoping they'd only have to suffer through one halftime speech from Nick Saban. They might end up getting 2. We'll step aside. Kevin Negandhi in a moment. A weather delay here in Tampa.
Emma Bob Wischusen on the call here.
All right, Kevin, thanks very much. And a pass to Sean Atkins from Byrum Brown. Just missed as play has resumed here at Raymond James Stadium. Now, all of our cameramen have not been cleared to return to their respective places following the lightning delay as Naquan Wright breaks one to the outside. He's got a first down. Carrying tacklers to midfield. Again, we had over an hour lightning delay here at Raymond James Stadium. 3-0 USF has the lead. They had a first down and now have moved the ball out to midfield as play has resumed. Bob Wischusen with RG3 and Chris Budden. But again, our cameramen are still waiting for clearance to return to their camera positions. So this might not look the way you normally expect a college football game to look, at least for the next 10 minutes or so.
For sure, Bob, you're 100% right there, but it's not going to change how we call the game, and it looks like it's not going to change how Naquan Wright is running the football.
Zone read. Nice pull by Byrum Brown, and he's got a first down for USF. Chris Braswell missed a tackle in the backfield.
I talked about how Byrum Brown was going to have to have the best game of his life for USF to come out victorious today, and he is certainly trying to find a rhythm here after the rain delay.
A shot to the sideline misses Chopry Brown.
And that's a problem with these rain delays, Bob. It's, as a quarterback, you got to come back out and get all rewarmed up. All the rest of the players on the field are trying to find back their rhythm. So you're going to see some errant passes, maybe some penalties here in these next few plays as these guys try to get warmed back up and in the flow of things.
And you wondered, with all the momentum it seemed as if USF had when we had the lightning delay, if that would roll over. And now they've come out and are moving the football again. At this time, Sean Atkins is bottled up. Chris?
Yeah, spoke with Alex Golesh when he came out here, and he was so hyped up, giving all of his coaches high fives and hugs. He said, we hydrated, we stretched, we did all the things, but we're going to come out here and we are going to play aggressive, and we're going to play with everything that we've got. We're not afraid of losing.
Interesting down and distance here. 3rd down and 9, not in field goal range, inside the 38-yard line. So, Robert, this play call here might forecast what they're going to do on 4th down. They may have already made the decision that this is 4-down territory.
And if they've made the decision that it's 4-down territory, certainly expect a run here. But if they are going to throw it, you're going to look up at the top of your screen. Number 38 is his go-to guy.
Brown tucks it under. Slides to the 35-yard line. And a little slow to get up is Tresman Marshall. And that creates 4th down and 6. And yes, indeed, they will leave the offense out there and go for it.
Yeah,
They're 0 for 1 on 4th down.
You saw a little tide-on-tide crime there. Sometimes when you go to hit that quarterback as he's sliding, you can hit your own man, and Tresman Marshall was certainly on the wrong side of that.
So Byrum Brown, a redshirt freshman, 18 years old at quarterback for USF, trying to keep the drive alive. 10 on the play clock.
And you see the USF players trying to get the crowd to be quiet, but what they don't understand is that's the Crimson Tide fans that are cheering. Alabama travels well.
Alabama shows blitz, and they're in the neutral zone on 4th down. Is this a free play? It has not been blown dead. Why not take a shot if you're Brown? Incomplete. Jaden Alexis, the intended receiver, Kool-Aid McKinstry, was in the end zone. Now, if this is a 5-yard penalty, which it seemed like it was, it should not result, I would think, in a first down.
Defense, number 32, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So it'll be 4th down and 1 now instead of 4th down and 5, but they just got a free play.
Yes, they did get a free play, a la Aaron Rodgers. You know what happened with him this past week?
Oh, come on.
Prayed for his,
really?
You
had to go there.
His full recovery.
We were having even a lightning delay. We were having a nice day, and you had to go there.
I'm sorry. I know you're the voice of the Jets, and it hurts deep, but those types of plays, you get the free ones, is what it's all about. But right here, this is what Alabama has been built to do up front. Stop the run. You know they're going to run it. Let's see what they do.
Lowering his shoulders, playing some bully ball, USF. And Byram Brown bulls his way for a 4th down conversion.
Woo! Like I said, that's what Alabama traditionally has been built to do. Stop the run, play bully ball themselves. But right now, Byram Brown and this USF offensive line is controlling the line of scrimmage.
Daquan Wright into a mosh pit. No gain on 1st down. Tim Keenan. Terry and Arnold even coming in on run support.
You know, we talked about this before the lightning delay. USF has hope. Alabama, when you come into this game, you want to stomp them out immediately so that you don't allow them to hang around.
Brown lobs one down the sideline for Brown. Stevens incomplete at the front right pylon. It fell down the chimney, but Michael Brown Stevens couldn't control it, and it brings up another 3rd down and long.
And you'll see right here on this replay, Byram Brown throws it up, drops it in the bucket. Amazing throw. Michael Brown Stevens just couldn't come down with it, but also nice job by the cornerback getting in there late to try to knock that out.
Terry and Arnold with pretty good coverage, as he had a feast or famine game against Texas last week. Had some good moments and had some moments that would shake your confidence. Blitz coming, quarterback run. Brown, flags everywhere. And he's brought down after a gain of only a couple. Now they are in field goal range at this point as Lawson and Smith combine to make the tackle.
Holding. Offense. Number 62. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Now that penalty will move them outside of field goal range, at least for the moment. And our Sunday night baseball matchup, the series finale between the Cubs and Diamondbacks, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Our coverage begins at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific with Baseball Tonight, Sunday Night Countdown.
Bob, what position in baseball did you play?
Second base.
Okay. You weren't the catcher?
Towards the end of my incredible baseball career, I did play some catcher.
I believe that.
Tunnel screen. Naeem Simmons. And again, an interesting decision here. They're at the 34-yard line, and this is 4th down and long, but this is outside of what Alex Golesh told us John Cannon's field goal range was. Would you go for it, Robert, on 4th and 16?
You know, he also, well, to answer your question, I probably wouldn't, but there is no better prerogative for them right now. They don't have a kicker who can make this, so give your quarterback an opportunity to make a throw down the field.
Even a pooch punt with no returner back.
Coach,
maybe Byram Brown can kick it down inside the 10-yard line on his own.
Coach also told us that they would bring in Brendan Farrell for some long kicks in this situation, but he decided against that.
He's going to try and throw for it. He said they would be aggressive. He wasn't lying. Down the sideline with no chance to get anywhere near the 1st down is Brown, and on 4th down and 16, the Bulls give it back to Alabama on downs. Tim Smith there to get the 4th down stop. Questionable decision. All season long, student sections across the country are competing to be the Taco Bell Live Más Student Section of the Year. Download the Taco Bell app to learn more. Papa Shoes and Robert Griffin III and Chris Budd back at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. USF and Alabama. The lone field goal by USF early in the 1st quarter, the game's only points. Toss in an over 1 hour lightning delay. Alabama back to work. Jace McClellan takes the handoff and gets snuffed at the line of scrimmage by Lloyd Summerall. So Tyler Buchner didn't look like he was feeling it before the lightning delay. And RG3, be very curious to see if those jitters might be gone after the delay.
Yeah, it certainly felt like he had jitters. And you talk about that lightning delay. I'm just glad that the rain didn't wash off all the paint on all the student section. They are definitely into it and surprised that their South Florida Bulls are winning this game.
McClellan shakes and bakes to the outside. With a stiff arm. He's got a 1st down. Run out by Braxton Clark, the Nebraska transfer at corner, but he picked up 10.
But you want to bring back the conversation to Tyler Buchner, and how do you get him to calm down? It's plays like that. You know, drive extending plays, getting Jason McClellan going so they can run downhill, play action off of it. But for Buckner, I want to see him fully commit to this moment. He seems to be a little tentative out there. This is your opportunity to take control of this quarterback competition. Make it happen.
Play action with 2 tight ends on the field. He wants to take a shot. Tipped ball incomplete. He tried to fit one into a tight window to Isaiah Bond, and Day Evans sagged back and helped in coverage.
You see, they run the play action. They've got their 3-level throw, and he just doesn't put enough mustard on it right there for the DB not to be able to make a play. You talk about Day, and he said nay on that throw.
I see what you did there. So now it's 2nd down and 10. Roydell Williams in the game as the tailback to the left of Buckner. There's a quick strike to Pond. And Isaiah Bond about a yard shy of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Logan Berryhill made the stop. Third down handoff. Roydell Williams good enough to cross the 50-yard line and pick up 3 and move the chains.
You know, Bob, sometimes it can just be that one completion in a football game for the quarterback that can get you going. You saw Tyler Buckner on back-to-back plays, throw an incompletion, but that he knew he should have put more gusto on that football. Comes back, fires a stop route. Maybe that could be the thing that gets him going, because the quarterback play today, honestly, has been atrocious.
McClellan and Williams both there. And this is McClellan with a helmet popping off of the head of Caden Proctor, the left tackle, so he'll have to leave the game for 1 play. Jaquez Williams made the stop for USF after a gain of a couple.
You know, one thing that Nick Saban said that really caught, I feel like, all of our attention was he said that when you're building a program, each year is a new year, and you have to create an identity that builds a standard. This team hasn't played to the Bama standard, but they also haven't been able to develop what their identity is either.
Play action for Buckner. Looks downfield. He'll throw the deep ball for Burton. At the goal line, just past his outstretched fingertips. Jermaine Burton had a step. And there's the confidence-building throw that you felt like Buckner needed. He hits one deep ball, and who knows, that close to making it happen.
Football is a game of inches, and right here you see it again. The play action. He's in rhythm. He sees that the safety is too low, and he threw the heck out of this football, but just too far for the speedy Jermaine Burton to pull it in.
That close to a touchdown. Instead, it's 3rd down and 8. The Bulls show blitz. Here they come. Buckner way up over the head of Ja'Cory Brooks, or rather of Isaiah Bond. And now a 4th down decision for Nick Saban at midfield, 4th and 8. And it looks like he is not hesitating at all to send the punt group out.
Not at all. He trusts his defense, but the one thing that he has to find on offense is not only an identity, but honestly, I would say at this point, your quarterback's not playing very well. I would come out and run the football for the next 3, 4, 5 plays just to establish the line of scrimmage and let this team know that they can't hang with you, because right now, the longer they let them hang around, the more dangerous this game becomes.
Burnett can't keep it out of the end zone again. The 3rd time that he's had a punt land inside the 5-yard line and bounce into the end zone for a touchback. 3-0. USF has the lead and the football late in the 2nd quarter. All right, Kevin, thanks very much. With that 3-0 lead, Mikey Dukes on the handoff, back to the offense. A gain of a couple for USF. So earlier today, RG3, Boston College almost came from behind. They put a big scare into Florida State. As those guys just said, right now, Georgia only with a 3-point lead. Alabama being blanked here in the 1st half, down 3-0 as Brown drops the throw. The pocket collapses and the ball's ripped out. It is loose. The Crimson Tide have a takeaway. It looked like Dallas Turner was able to knock it free.
And as a quarterback, when you break the pocket, you have to understand, when you go, you got to go, because it's the guys you don't see that can cause the fumble. Right there, he doesn't see the defender, pops the ball out, and that's the type of play that Nick Saban has been waiting for. Those are the types of plays that Kevin Steele, the defensive coordinator for Alabama, have been waiting for. This Alabama defense used to be a turnover machine creator. They haven't been that for the past few years.
And James Smith, the true freshman defensive end, came up with the recovery. And now we have another quarterback change for Alabama. Tyler Buchner replaced Jalen Milroe. Ty Simpson, the redshirt freshman, has now replaced Tyler Buchner. So Ty Simpson goes to work, handing off to McClellan. Bounces it outside with a stiff arm at the 20, at the 15. Still on his feet. First and goal for Alabama after the takeaway, courtesy of Jace McClellan. A gain of 17.
You're going to see it right here. Jace McClellan rides the wave, stiff arms the man, keeps his feet going, and then hits the burners. Strong run from Jace McClellan, and if I'm Alabama, I'm running it again.
First and goal for Alabama after the takeaway. At the 8-yard line, McClellan stays in the game to the left of Simpson. Simpson to throw. Here comes the blitz, and he's forced to heave it to the sideline. And let's see if intentional grounding is called or if there was a receiver in the area. Looked like Robbie Oots, the tight end, was there.
Grounding, number 45 was in the area at second down.
That's a good job by Simpson. He got the ball in the neighborhood of the tight end, Robbie Oots, to avoid intentional grounding.
He really did. And right here, you're going to see as soon as he drops back, he knows he's in trouble, tries to get the football out, and does it convincingly and in the area of one of his wideouts. Certainly not what you want as Ty Simpson to be getting your first throw to be a throwaway like that.
So second down and goal.
I told you, Bob, they should have ran that football. Try to just dominate up front.
They'll run it here with Roydell Williams to the 5-yard line. You said in our open, the problem for Alabama right now isn't that they think it might be Tyler Buchner or Jalen Milroe. It's that they don't know what they have at quarterback. Now what do they have? Going 3 deep on the depth chart to Ty Simpson.
Yeah, this is what I call three's company. You know, they got a rotating chair of quarterbacks going in there. Ty Simpson, very highly recruited guy, mobile, has a strong arm in the pocket. They're using this game to figure out who their quarterback is going to be. But right here, they just need Ty Simpson to make a smart decision.
Third down and goal. Timeout called by Nick Saban with the play clock winding down. Well, this season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, All-State will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you to All-State. And again, there was a lightning strike close enough to the stadium not long ago where our cameramen have not been cleared to return to their positions in spite of the fact that the game resumed. So that's why you're seeing these kind of wide-angle shots. We're expecting, certainly by the time the second half rolls around, that the Lightning will be far enough away that everyone can go back to work. And we'll bring you the game the rest of the way that you're used to seeing it. But right now, with under 3 minutes to go in the first half, we're forced to use some of these wide-angle shots.
Great explanation there, Bob. And right here, Coach Saban used one word in our meetings. He said trust. They have to trust whoever is out there at the quarterback spot. This is a big moment here with South Florida loading up the box. They've got a bunch of guys covered down right here. What are they going to allow Ty Simpson to do? Simpson
under pressure, caught down and sacked back to the 15. Day Evans put the pressure on the redshirt freshman, and it'll be a field goal attempt for Alabama, a loss of 10.
Alabama trusted Ty Simpson with the ball in his hands there in a crucial point in the game, trying to get them going here in the second quarter. And Day Evans in the pass rush of the Bulls got to him before he could even get to his back foot. Ty Simpson has to get the ball out right there, and that is the problem with Alabama right now at quarterback. They're not making fast enough decisions.
Will Reichert from 30 yards out is able to tie the game with 2:10 to go in the first half. And now a quick word from Cheez-It.
I'm RG3Z. See you next time. Hey, who changed my name to RG3Z?
Me? It's a great combo. Like college football and Cheez-It, you like?
You cheddar believe it.
And how will college football fans feel?
They're gonna be feeling the cheesiest! Woo!
I would say if your goal there was to be the cheesiest, that's mission accomplished. You nailed it.
Bob, it gets me every time. It's just a fun time. People, you know, sit back, eat some Cheez-Its.
And by the way, when you're lifting weights in the Heisman House, it makes me just uncomfortable enough.
That means I am
Mission accomplished again.
Citing something out of you,
Yes.
Bob. Mission accomplished.
All right, Alabama still has 2 timeouts. Only 1 timeout left for USF. We're tied at 3. Still 2 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock. So if USF can move the ball, they do have 1 timeout left to at least maybe get their field goal unit on the field. Who knows? Or will Alabama at some point get a negative and maybe use their timeouts and give Ty Simpson one more shot before halftime? Booming kick from Reichert, and it will be a touchback through the back of the end zone.
So now let's talk about Tyler Buchner, the quarterback who started the game for Alabama, and how he struggled. Right there, obviously a drop, but they're putting pressure on him. They're going to run this dagger dig concept here, and watch Tyler Buchner read the safety, but miss a wide open receiver deep down the field for a touchdown. Those are the types of misses that Nick Saban and Tommy Rees have been just infuriated about. And right here, you got the double out package, but you got pressure off the side, knowing that you're hot. You have to hit that receiver on the first out because that is your hot route. That is where Alabama is lacking. Decision-making and seeing the field from the quarterback spot.
Daquan Wright up the middle for a yard. Now with 2 timeouts for Alabama, USF can't run the clock out and get to halftime. Alabama's certainly going to use their timeouts, and now an injury timeout as well. One of those big offensive linemen is down for USF. It might be R.J. Perry, the right tackle. So just under 2 minutes to go here in the first half. An injury timeout. Bob Wischusen here with Robert Griffin III. Chris Budden is with us as well. So even though USF has the football, the wide-angle lens story coming into today, and now there are chapters being added by Nick Saban. What does this portend for the rest of the season for Alabama at quarterback? Where do they go?
Yeah, like I said, they're playing musical chairs at the quarterback spot. He is basically trying to use this game and any game moving forward to find out who is the guy that he can trust against good competition. Well, right now, they've got great competition on the field at South Florida. They came here ready to play, and I think while everyone's focusing on the quarterback position for Alabama, they really need to focus on their offensive line, their defensive line, and why they're not able to come and just bulldoze a team, all puns intended, like South Florida. These teams never used to be able to hang with an Alabama, and right now, the season just doesn't have a, very bright outlook if you can't figure out the quarterback spot and get competent play. Not great play, but competent play from that position.
From the offensive line, what have you seen so far today? We can even put up the Alabama drive chart because it's been a struggle for them to move the football, obviously leading to another quarterback change, but you can't swap out the whole offensive line.
You can't, but look at these results. Punt, 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 field goal. This offensive line has normally been a dominant force. Their center has had problems with snaps. I've watched him specifically in this game snap it right, snap it left, snap it low, snap it fast. If the quarterback can't get a consistent snap from the center, how is he supposed to have trust and faith that he can go out and make his reads and keep his eyes in the right place because he's so focused on where is the center putting the ball at now? So I know it seems like the sky is falling for Alabama, but really all they have to do is get back to the basics, Bob. Snap the ball, catch it, run the ball, and win the line of scrimmage, and this team can get back to what we're used to seeing from them.
R.J. Perry, the right tackle, off the field. Derek Bowman, a backup guard, replaces him. Here comes a blitz. There's a strike to Sean Atkins, who breaks a tackle and is close to a first down, about a yard shy as we check in with Chris.
Bob, to what Robert was talking about on that play where Ty Simpson got sacked, that snap came off so hot that it bounced off of his hands.
Daquan Wright moves the chains, Chris.
Yeah, to what Robert was talking about, the inconsistency with the snaps. When Ty Simpson took that sack, the snap came so hot and fast that it bounced off of his hands and he had to recatch it.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, as a quarterback, that's the last thing you want to be worried about. You're looking at the safeties. You're trying to feel where's the soft spot in the pocket, and you're having to worry about where the ball is.
Trying to keep his eyes downfield is Brown, but he gets spun down after a gain of a yard by Tim Smith. Again, 1:05 to go in the half and only one timeout left for USF.
And, you know, I made a statement earlier and said the quarterback play today has been atrocious. I think that's an understatement, but what Byron Brown has been able to do is make enough plays to keep drives sustained. But when you're in these 2-minute situations, the last thing you want is to have a sack, and he gave up one there.
Slant thrown behind Joffrey Brown. The two teams to this point have combined for 76 passing yards in the first half.
Wow. I know it's got to be tough on the people at home and their eyes to watch an offensive display like this, but we can also maybe show some praise towards the defense and them making these offenses not really be able to get in a rhythm. But throwing and catching the ball is a fundamental thing you do in 7-on-7. I'm a Texas guy. 7-on-7 is huge in that state. And right now it seems like both these teams just need to do a little bit more 7-on-7 so they can get in a rhythm in the passing game.
Byron Brown, they run the option. Pitches it out to Naquan Wright. With a stiff arm, dragged down at the 41-yard line. Good tackle is made by Quindarius Robinson. 33 seconds to go in the half. It looked like he got to the sideline. Kick off your Week 2 NFL tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown Crew on ESPN and the ESPN app. 2 Monday Night Football matchups. Derek Carr leads the Saints against Bryce Young and the Panthers at a special start time of 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN. And ESPN Deportes and Nick Chubb and the Browns take on TJ Watt and the rival Steelers at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC and ESPN Plus. Used to be easier when they had that guy.
Yeah, it did. You know, after the first week of the NFL season, Bryce Young is going to have a great NFL career. But it was tough sledding for him in that game, and it seems like both could use a reunion right now to maybe lift up their spirits. But at the end of the day, what we're really trying to find out about Alabama is who is going to be that Bryce Young leader? Who is going to be that Will Anderson leader on the defense that rallies this team to get them back, you know, on track when they're off? That is what it seems like Alabama is missing right now, is just leadership from the players on the field.
So Alabama now down to 1 timeout remaining and 36 seconds on the clock as they stop the clock before 4th down. Andrew Stokes to punt and gets away a spiraling kick. Kool-Aid McKinstry up against the sideline at the 10-yard line. That is a terrific directional punt by the junior from Perth, Australia, Andrew Stokes. Let's go down to Chris.
Bob, to Robert's point, I mean, you cover Alabama enough and you're used to seeing very vocal players on the sideline, senior, junior leadership. They've had it every single year. Being down here now for almost 2 quarters, there isn't any of that. There's no player going up to anyone in anyone's faces saying, let's get our act together. Let's go, guys. Very quiet down here, and something that early on in this season, Saban's team is still searching for.
Flag down on the punt at the 40-yard line of Alabama.
After play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, kicking Keene, number 87. 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the kick. First down, Alabama.
Gunnar Greenwald called for a 15-yard foul, and that is a big one. That takes the ball from the 10-yard line out to the 25. Alabama, of course, they have 1 timeout left. They still have the rules that help you in college football of the clock stopping if you pick up a first down. And that 15-yard penalty might change the way they approach these 29 seconds.
Yeah, it might. And, you know, our guy Allen's green for that one on that. That's a huge mistake. You've got Alabama tied 3-3. There's 29 seconds left in the game. They're pinned right back on their own goal line. And now right here, it's that first play that will determine how aggressive Tommy Rees is with the rest of this drive.
They have trust in Simpson to throw it. They'll hand it off to McClellan instead. And he picks up 9 yards. And Nick Saban will call the final timeout with 22 seconds to go in the half. Jason Vaughn made the stop. So they put 2 extra seconds up. We are tied at 3. Now, was the sky falling last week with the loss to Texas? Maybe in the minds of some, but of the national championships that Nick Saban has totaled at Alabama, they have not gone 3 years without a championship in the Saban era. And of the 6 titles that they have won, 4 of them they had a loss. At least one. So
basically what you're saying is that, you know, last week was just a precursor to Alabama potentially winning another national championship.
Well, I think there might be some folks back in Tuscaloosa that want clarity at the quarterback position before they're going to buy in this year.
100%. I'm still trying to get over seeing Nick Saban on the back of an elephant. That was a pretty good graphic. Shout out to our graphics team. But you're right. You know, it's not about coming into the season, or as Coach said, Texas was the midterm. It wasn't the final. Now that they failed the midterm, they have an opportunity to see where their weaknesses are and fix them as they approach the final of the rest of their schedule. But at quarterback, now you've got your 3rd quarterback in 3 games. That doesn't bode well for the season.
Blitz off the edge. Simpson escapes, fires one high over the middle, tipped it incomplete. So it will be 3rd down and 1. 18 seconds to go in the half. Malik Benson, the intended receiver.
You know, I talked to Tommy Rees about Ty Simpson. The first thing he said was he's eager to learn. He's eager to get better. He's got a big arm. And obviously he's had a ton of success playing the position outside of college. Now they just need him to continue to grow and develop. And this is not the time that they wanted to have to put him in the game. They wanted it to be more of a Tua Tagovailoa situation where he gets to sit, play at the end of games, and potentially come in next year or later this year. But now he's thrust into action because of their non-trust of the other quarterbacks.
Here's Jace McClellan diving for, it looks like a first down. That'll stop the clock for the moment, but down to the final 12 seconds. So USF not using a timeout, and the clock stopping with the first down will give Alabama a chance to at least get one more snap off before the end of the half. They are out of timeouts. Jace McClellan still in the backfield. They'll let Simpson throw. He's out of the pocket once again, and he'll just heave it to the sideline and throw it away. 2 seconds to go in the half. At this point, is it not just take a knee time, get to the locker room and regroup?
Well, I don't ever anticipate Nick Saban telling his offense to take a knee, but I would say run the football, just run the clock out, get to halftime. You know you're tied the ball game up at 3-3. Momentum has not been on your side. You got to figure out, are you going to continue to rock with Ty Simpson for the rest of this game, or do you go back to Jalen Milroe? That is the big question, because at least what we saw from Milroe was the ability of this offense to move the ball down the field, whatever way that was happening.
Jace McClellan bouncing off tacklers, and they drag him down just shy of midfield, and that will take us to halftime, tied at 3. So if this was supposed to be the bounce back get right game off the Texas loss for Alabama, that is not what we have seen so far. The State Halftime Report is coming up with Kevin Agandi and Booger McFarland after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. The rain has moved away, the skies have cleared, and this is the American Conference on ESPN here in Tampa. But the score, an accurate depiction of how ugly this game has been between Alabama and USF, tied at 3. Bob Wischusen with Robert Griffin III. Chris Budden is with us as well. And boy, Nick Saban, it seems like right now, with his quarterbacks, with his offense, just kind of punching in the dark, looking for answers.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out who they are. And for the fan out there, I just want you to say, stay here with us, because it can't get any worse than it was in the first half. Okay, there's been penalties that are taking points off the board, and Alabama has been the story of the game because of how much they have struggled on both sides of the ball and on special teams. Right here, you see the punt from USF, and Kool-Aid McKinstry lets it bounce off of him, and that results in the only 3 points of the game that South Florida has. But that's not it. Watch this. A holding penalty takes a return for a touchdown on the kickoff by Terrion Arnold off the board. And then there's Tyler Buchner, who comes in. They're trying to say he's going to be the guy that's going to make Alabama football come back from the ground. And look at this play that he misses on this blitz from USF. He has the out route wide open. He has to make that decision faster. So what do? After a couple of quarters of watching him, they say, you know what, let's bring in Ty Simpson. And to Ty Simpson's credit, he's out there trying to move and groove, and maybe they stick with him here in this second half. But the bottom line is Alabama looks nothing like a national championship contender right now.
USF starts the second half with the football. And Reichert with another touchback kickoff. A moment ago, Chris Budden caught up with Nick Saban.
Coach, what went into the decision to put in Ty Simpson?
Well, you know, we said we wanted to see if we had a quarterback that could play winning football, and thought we struggled a little bit. Maybe it was the rain, I don't know. But, you know, Ty was the guy that practiced the best this week as a backup player, and so he's got a chance to play.
What more do you need out of your offense to sustain drives in the second half?
Well, they're stunting and blitzing all the time. We're not doing a very good job of picking it up, run or pass. We're giving us too many negative plays, so we don't have any consistency in execution, so we got to just get that right.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
It is a different team. USF has brought in 39 transfers through the portal as they start this drive with a run, as Dallas Turner is there to make the stop on Byron Brown. So it'll be second down and 8. So it's a different defense as well. But last year, Robert, this is a USF defense that was 131st in America in total defense, giving up over 515 yards a game.
Oh, wow.
Naquan Wright breaks a tackle, and now it'll be third down and 6. So the idea that Alabama, even with their quarterback questions, can't just take over physically and control the line of scrimmage and move USF around has to be as concerning to a Crimson Tide fan as the uncertainty at quarterback.
And it's not just the fans that are upset with it, it's the former players, because they're not used to seeing this from their Alabama-led teams. The defense used to be able to flip a switch and literally smother an offense and not let them get anything. And it's not the defense's fault because they've only given up 3 points. But right now, Alabama has to decide, what is their identity going to be?
Quarterback draw, bouncing off a tackler. And getting the first down is Byron Brown. What a run. He was caught behind the line of scrimmage, slipped away from Chris Braswell, and found an alley to pick up 15.
And you see him, he's bouncing off of guys in there, and then he shows you he's got more moves than a military family. We see you, Byron Brown.
He's back to throw. He's going to take a shot for Brown Stevens. Incomplete. Terrion Arnold in perfect position on Michael Brown Stevens. Second down and 10.
Terrion Arnold doing double duty as a returner and out there playing cornerback. But what you see from this USF offense is they're taking shots down the field consistently. They're not hitting them right now, but if you allow them to continue to hang around, it's just going to keep growing that confidence, especially with the quarterback out there playing the way that he just did on that last play.
Screen. Atkins to the 49-yard line. He's got 5. Another tackle for Terrion Arnold. It will be third down and 5.
And like we talked about before halftime, Bob, Byron Brown is not playing just lights out. Not even close to it, honestly. But he's playing just good enough to keep the Bulls on the field, something that Alabama can't even get out of their quarterback right now.
And now a false start is going to be called.
False start. Offense. Number 72. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
That's Cole Best playing right guard, and he just nudged back early, so erase the 5-yard gain by Atkins. Well, Alex Golesh, I mean, it's been a quarterback carousel at USF since Quentin Flowers graduated. They've had 9 different quarterbacks in 5 years. So not only do they have a first-year head coach, maybe they do have an answer for the long term for the first time in a long time as well at quarterback with Byron Brown. Third down and 10, Naquan Wright. Gang tackle. And it will most likely be a punt here for USF.
And you talk about
Lawson, Chris Braswell sandwiched Naquan Wright.
Yeah, Bob, you talk about Byron Brown, and I want to bring Chris Budden in here because she's got a great story of just about how he got into football and what he used to do in high school in track and field.
Distance runner, but also through the javelin. He said it wasn't until I started doing that really well that someone came up to me and said, hey, you might be a really good quarterback. You see that arm you got throwing the javelins? Around the 9th grade is when he picked up football. Owes the arm strength to track and field.
It's a fake punt. And it will come up well short of the first down. They try some razzle-dazzle on special teams. Alabama was ready for it. Gunnar Greenwald took the direct snap and could not get past midfield. So now the Crimson Tide, another golden opportunity, taking over right at the 50.
Yeah, just a nice direct snap to Gunnar Greenwald, and he just could not get the ball past the first down marker. And it makes you wonder sometimes. Of course, you're going to go for it, but if you're going to, you know, put yourself in a position that you're turning the ball over at midfield, wouldn't you want your star quarterback or your great running back in Naquan Wright to have the football in their hands in that situation as opposed to, you know, your personal protector in Gunnar Greenwald?
So Ty Simpson stays in at quarterback. Chase McClellan is the tailback. And they'll start on the ground. And McClellan dragged down for a gain of 4. Rashad Cheney made the stop. Rashad Cheney back in the lineup this season. He shattered his ankle last year in the 6th game of the year against Cincinnati. So to have him back, the Minnesota transfer, that is a big boost to South Florida. McClellan again. Not much there. A yard. Now, for all of the quarterback carousel drama that we've seen through the first several weeks for Alabama, the fact that their offensive line can't move this defensive line has to be as concerning to a Crimson Tide fan, even as the quarterback problems.
Yeah, it does. And you talked about how South Florida has a lot of new additions on defense, really their whole team, but that's not SEC football. Bama has been known to only really have struggled with teams like Georgia when it comes to the point of attack. And right now they're struggling with the Bulls.
And now a false start. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 84, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
We'll have 2 ESPN primetime games tonight. Number 11, Tennessee, travels to the Swamp to take on the Gators at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. And then Deion Sanders and number 18, Colorado, square off against their in-state rival in the Rocky Mountain Showdown. What a night for football. A good doubleheader. We'll have it for you coming up a little bit later on. Now 3rd down and 10. Simpson to throw. Hit from behind and sacked. The pocket collapsed. Jalen Stokes, the safety blitz, gets home. And again, frustration trotting to the sideline for the Alabama offense.
And Bob, that was picture perfect. Change the picture on him right here. Number 21, Jalen Stokes shows that he's covering, comes off the edge, says, little boy, get off me. You can't block me, and knocks Ty Simpson into another century. These South Florida Bulls, they came to play today.
Line drive kick. Atkins, returnable from the 10, stumbles. Gets to the sideline and gets run out at about the 17 after a 47-yard punt. Still tied at 3. 9:52 to go in the 3rd. We honor those who serve. Brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. To take a look at Alabama's tight end, Kobe McNeil, former active duty United States Marine. He spent 6 years as an aviation electrician and a crew chief on a V-22 Osprey, and was deployed to the Middle East and Australia. So our chance to thank Kobe McNeil and all of you out there who give your service to our country to protect our freedom.
100%, Bob. They don't get enough love and don't want them to feel like they're forgotten when they get back.
Swing pass, K'Wan Powell, blown up back at about the 12-yard line by Malachi Moore.
We have this call saying that nobody goes at throws, but if you're going to do that, you got to make sure you protect the edge. That's called taking care of your brother. When he can't see the defense closing in on him, you got to make that block at the point of attack.
Byron Brown to throw again. The pocket once again starts to collapse, but he escapes. Wheels to the 20-yard line. Has the first down and slides out close to the 30.
I told you, the one thing that's given Bama's defense trouble over the years is a mobile QB. Oh, look at him. Get outside, just go start running, and protecting himself at the end of that was crucial.
Powell looking for a cutback lane, brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Todd Campbell Made the stop. Seems like the only explosive plays that we've seen either offense have the capability to make is quarterbacks escaping. Brown to throw. Again, he's going to heave one down the sideline. Kool-Aid McKinstry in perfect position, and he picks it off. The preseason All-American, blanketing Jaden Alexis, and he's got the pick.
Got a penalty.
There's a flag down back at the line of scrimmage as well.
There were 2 fouls on the play. One on both teams. Holding, offense, number 73. Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 15. Those penalties offset. We're going to replay, second down.
What a win that is for USF. Erase the Kool-Aid McKinstry pick. And the Bulls maintain possession of the football.
Wow, penalties. You talk about it for Bama. Taking points off the board last week twice. Already taking points off the board today with the holding penalty on the kickoff return. And now you ruin Kool-Aid McKinstry's punchline by eliminating his interception with the face mask. Seems like they just can't get out of their own way. And that's a huge problem for that man you see on your screen right there, Nick Saban.
K'Wan Powell stays in the game to the left of Brown in the shotgun. Quarterback run. Brown picks up a couple of yards. If quarterback run is the only weapon that either offense can count on, is there a chance Nick Saban makes another quarterback change?
Well,
goes back to his starter from last week?
Well, I mean, if you look at the play of the quarterbacks at Alabama so far, the only guy that has given them a glimpse of life this season has been Jalen Milroe. Even though in the first game he balled out, struggled last week a little bit, he moved the football, and that's where they're struggling right now.
Brown on third down, reaching back as Simmons to make the catch, but well short of the first down. He's brought down 3 yards shy by Malachi Moore. So it's another third down stop for the Crimson Tide. 3 times USF has turned the ball over on downs, including a fake punt the last time they were out there. So I would think this time they're just going to play traditional and kick the football away.
100%. And with the way that their defense is playing right now, you should have confidence in the way that they're shutting down the run and making the quarterback have to second guess and hold the football in the passing game. So you can play the field position battle here. This is a very smart move by Alex Golesh. Trust your defensive coordinator, Todd Orlando, to get it done for you.
Good punt from Stokes. To the sideline, McKinstry watches it go sideways out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. A 49-yard punt. Kool-Aid McKinstry lost this pick. 2 offsetting fouls.
The biggest story of the day has been Alabama's quarterbacks. And last week, Jalen Milroe, he struggled with plays like this. Off the play-action boot, running a curl outside. They were so focused on his vision. Look, he's staring down the wide receiver, so much so that he doesn't even see the safety on the inside. Throws an interception right to him. You know, worthy of being benched, right? No, because when Jalen Milroe would come back on the next few series and throw this play-action deep shot with the movement in the pocket and hit Jermaine Burton for a touchdown, he always offset his mistakes with bigger plays. So now when you look at what's happening with Tyler Buchner today and Ty Simpson, there has been nothing to offset any negative plays or poor decisions. They're just playing bad football. Why in this moment wouldn't you put Jalen Milroe back in the football game? Because he's clearly shown he gives you the best chance to win.
Simpson's screen misses C.J. Dupree. It'll be second down and 10. And that pick that you showed, if you watch that Texas game from last week, and to me this says a lot about a quarterback. It said a lot about Jalen Milroe. I thought 3 of maybe the 5 best throws he made in the game were on the ensuing drive.
Exactly.
He came back and ripped a bunch of throws on the next drive and moved them right down and got a score. Having that kind of amnesia has to count for something as well.
For a guy that's only got 3 starts to his name to respond like that in a heated situation, it shows you who he is as a player. They should give him an opportunity to continue to develop.
Ty Simpson, that's what he needed. Drops one into Dupree. An explosive play in the pass game for Alabama finally strikes.
Finally, you see the play action, and look at this throw. That's like a heat-seeking missile right there from Ty Simpson to C.J. Dupree. They go celebrate, man, because we haven't seen any plays like that all day. We're celebrating with you.
Does that get Ty Simpson going? As now the ball is fumbled on a muffed snap. And let's see if the officials started the play.
There's a substitution process. The ball should not have been snapped. It'll be first down.
So USF was being allowed to substitute, and the ball was not set yet ready for play by the officials. Now it is ready for play, and we're back to first down Alabama at the 39-yard line.
Interesting.
Roydell Williams right up the middle and blasts ahead for 7 yards before he's brought down by Logan Berryhill.
And as you see Alabama hit the big pass play down the field, now if they can mix in more of the pass and the run and maybe trust Ty Simpson to push the ball down the field more, you'll see more explosive plays and better play from their offense.
Nice cutback run by Roydell Williams. Gets to the sideline, looking for the pylon, and gets brought down inside the 5-yard line. Berryhill made the tackle. It looks like they'll say he stepped out at the 6, but it's first and goal Alabama.
Once again, you get Roydell Williams out there running. He looks like an Alabama running back. That was very Mark Ingram-esque with the jump cut and getting outside and trying to finish that run. That's what we're used to seeing from Alabama.
Slip pass into the right flat, reaching for the pylon is Robbie Oates. Out of bounds inside the 1. Did not quite get the nose of the football to the goal line. Jalen Stokes saved a touchdown.
And if the ball was just a little better, our guy Robbie Oates certainly would have scored a touchdown here, but because he had to bend down and catch the ball and slow down his momentum, look how hard it is now for that big fella to get going vertical.
Straight ahead run, Roydell Williams. He's in for the touchdown. And finally, one of these two teams finds the end zone.
We told y'all to stay with us because it couldn't get any worse. And now we finally get our first touchdown of the day, and it's due to the bruising of Roydell Williams. The offensive line didn't even move USF off the ball there. He was just more determined to get into the end zone. Oh! One guy did get pushed off the line there. That's what we call a pancake. Get that man some syrup.
A 6-play touchdown drive. And the biggest play of that drive, Ty Simpson to C.J. Dupree, the explosive. And Robert, this is the one that set the drive up.
Yes, the big pass play down the field, the first 20-plus yard play for Alabama all day, and then it culminated in this gritty run by Roydell Williams and the pancake from the O-lineman.
Well, Robert, the Alabama offensive line, they have come under fire to start this season, but they don't lack size. They're bigger than the average NFL offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, look at the heaviest offensive line in the NFL last year at 332.8, and Alabama's got a lot of man meat up there up front, 369, 353, and 356, which begs the question, why haven't they been able to move guys off the line of scrimmage? But they were able to do it on that last drive, almost eclipsing the amount of yards they had the entire game.
Is that the drive where Alabama finally just exerts their authority on this game? And we'll see now how the final 19 minutes or so plays out. We've got 2 ESPN primetime games tonight. Tennessee and Florida closing in on kickoff time on ESPN. And then Coach Prime and number 18, Colorado, square off against their in-state rivals, Colorado State, and the Rocky Mountain Showdown. A great doubleheader for football over on ESPN. The Rock was the guest picker. 400 headgear shows now for Coach Corso. His 400th headgear today. It was a great scene in Boulder, and it is going to be even more electric tonight under the lights.
Congratulations to Lee Corso. Good to see The Rock still lifting weights.
Slant, caught, first down. That's as good a throw as we have seen from Byron Brown as he finds Weston Wolf, his tight end, for 12.
Hey, Bob, you think you could take a rock bottom from Dwayne The Rock Johnson wrestling move? You watch wrestling at all?
No. Well, when I was 7. Naquan Wright gets hit, dives for a couple. But whatever move The Rock would, like, no.
You don't think you could?
I don't know that I'd get past a handshake.
I think he just called you a jabroni and, you know, hit you with the people's elbow or something like that. That was, like you said, great scene there. And now we've got USF trying to claw their way to tie this football game, and all starts with Byron Brown.
Right again. Nowhere to go in the heart of the Alabama defense. Stood up by Tim Smith. Maybe gained a half yard. It will be 3rd down and a long 7.
And the long 7, the emphasis on long, because throwing the football has really not been a strong suit of either team today. But the quarterback run for South Florida has been effective. So you ask yourself, in this moment, do they decide to try to run to get this to a shorter fourth down and potentially go for it in their own territory?
A little late coming out of the huddle. Play clock at 7. Play clock down to 5. 3rd down and 7. They get the snap off. Out of the pocket again is Brown. He's got an alleyway. He's got a 1st down and more. He's got a cutback. Inside the 30-yard line of Alabama goes Byron Brown.
As you see him drop back here, this has been their best play all day. Hey, act like you're going to throw. Everything breaks down and let's run. And I said before, he's got more moves than the military family. He's going to have to keep pulling tricks out the bag to try to keep USF in this football game here.
Play action to the sideline, well wide of Michael Brown-Stevens.
And we've seen that a couple times now. I want all offensive coordinators to listen to me right now. As a dual threat quarterback, when you see your quarterback go out and have a long run, 10, 15, 20-yarder, do not come back and throw the football on the next play. Why do I say that? The guy's huffing and puffing. He can't breathe. He's not going to be as accurate because he just had a crazy type of run. You got to give him a play to take a breath, let him hand the ball off, something simple. Non-stop quarterbacks have come to me talking about that, saying coaches don't quite understand how hard that is for a quarterback after a big run.
They need to hurry to get this play off again. Play clock down to 2, down to 1. They just do get it off. Up the middle goes Powell. Hard run down to the 22-yard line for 7. Makes it 3rd down and manageable.
And you see him, look, he's breathing hard. He just expended a lot of energy. Hey, coach, let me take one off here.
Probably 4-down territory. Another 4th down decision that they will face now. Deontay Lawson dropped Powell at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of a yard. 4th down and 2 at the 21.
No choice but to go for it here. And as per usual, has been the recipe all day. Give your quarterback a run-pass option. He's a dual threat guy. They're looking like they're going to go heavy here. Maybe run a zone read and give him some blockers out in front.
The keeper for Brown. He gets shut down again by the Alabama defense. Deontay Lawson is there. The 4th time the Crimson Tide have taken over on downs.
And you see the excitement from the coaches. Deontay Lawson right there leading the way. This is what we're used to seeing. Bama controlling the line of scrimmage, not allowing USF to push them off the ball. And if I'm Alex Golesh in this moment, what has worked for us is spreading it out and allowing our quarterback to have lanes to run. They just tried to play bully ball with the bully. These guys have 320-pound guys up front. That's very difficult. Because if you've ever seen Alabama's defense in person, oh, they got some big boys now. Oh, they're big. We talking about 260s that running 4.3s in the 40. Playing bully ball against the bully is not what you want to do.
Well, when Alex Golesh told us yesterday, we will be very aggressive, we will go for it on 4th down. He was not lying. They've gone for it 5 times. To throw is Simpson. It'll be thrown down. Another sack, this one courtesy of Jason Vaughn, who had 5 last year to lead the USF defense.
Yes, the coaches say he's a gritty, tough pass rusher, and right here when he got his hands on Ty Simpson, he was not letting go.
A loss of 8 on 1st down. Staying aggressive, Is Todd Orlando calling the plays defensively for USF. Roydell Williams across the 20, carrying tacklers across the 25. That's a good run. That makes it 3rd down and manageable as you got about 14 yards back. Jalen Stokes made the stop after a gain of 13, so it is 3rd down and only 5.
Time and time again, we see in those 2nd and long situations, surprising the defense with a quick hitting run gets you back into 3rd and manageable. 3rd and 5 is where you want to live as an offense if you're going to have these 3rd down situations.
Flag down.
Offside. Defense with contact. Number 9. The 5-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
Amaris Brown, the corner.
Yeah, you see him at the bottom of your screen right here. Before the ball is snapped, he's going to jam the receiver. Oh, my goodness. What was he doing there? They always tell the DBs to watch the ball just like the receivers, but Jalen Hell probably said, what the hell is this guy doing hitting me before the play starts?
All of that erases the Vaughn sack on 1st down from 2nd and 19 to a run and then a 1st down by penalty. There's another sack, though. This one, Day-Day Evans bends the edge.
Well, if you didn't know, now you know. This man's been making plays all day long. Remember the name because he's got game. Day-Day Evans just ended the 3rd quarter. And right here, you're going to see him coming off the edge, saying, whoop, whoop, on the tackle. Speed always wins, baby. Ty Simpson's been getting beat up ever since he came into the football game.
That's the 4th time Simpson has been sacked. We'll come back after these messages and a word from our ABC station.
Welcome back. Credit to the work ethic Alex Golesh has instilled on this team, and it's something he learned from his parents. He was born in Russia, and in 1991, when the Soviet Union was collapsing, his parents, concerned for the family's safety, moved to the United States. They left everything behind but some clothes and a few $100. Alex was 7. He spoke no English at the time. They arrived in America, settled in Brooklyn for a little bit before moving to Ohio. The mom still is working for an interpreter company. Dad has retired. They've sold their house and are moving down here to Florida to be with their son.
And their defense is reflective, Chris, to this point, of that change of the culture. There's no doubt. I mean, and he said he learned a lot of that work ethic from his parents, who, as Chris said, $400 and a couple of suitcases full of clothes. They moved to Brooklyn, eventually settled in Ohio. He becomes a student assistant for Jim Tressel at Ohio State. That began his coaching career. And he found his way eventually to stops at Illinois, Iowa State with Matt Campbell, UCF with Josh Heupel, and then Tennessee with Coach Heupel as well. And now taking over this program and forcing 3rd down and 14. And bringing a blitz. Out of the pocket is Simpson. He's going to try and play quarterback run. And he'll slide well short of the 1st down. And that will put Alabama in a position where they will have to punt once again. 1 minute gone by in the 4th quarter.
There's so much focus on protecting yourself as a quarterback, and trust me, as a quarterback who did not protect himself very well outside the pocket, I understand it. But in a game like this, when you're trying to put away this USF football team, you cannot slide like that on 3rd and long. I'm not saying put your shoulder down and go try to run somebody over, but he had an opportunity to try to sniff out a few more yards there, and he did not take it.
Play clock down to 2, down to 1. And let's see if they reset the play clock, as Alabama was late running a player onto the field.
Play game.
It is going to be delay of game.
5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So running a player late out on punt protection costs the Crimson Tide 5.
Seems to be the theme of their season so far. I know they had a major emphasis on not being one of the most penalized teams in college football like they were last year. It's not a great look for them right now.
That's their 4th penalty for 25 yards total today. Burnip's punt forces Atkins into a fair catch at the 15-yard line. That's a 53-yard punt that forces a fair catch. Alabama flips the field early in the 4th quarter. Bob Wischusen, Robert Griffin III, Chris Button back in Tampa, Alex Golesh, as we said, moved from Russia along with his family to Brooklyn at age 7, escaping a coup that was taking place in the Soviet Union. Worked his way up the coaching ladder with Josh Heupel at Tennessee, named as a first-time head coach at the USF program this year. And he gives all credit to his parents. They left everything, sacrificed everything because they wanted to give me and my older brother a better life. They worked really, really hard to give us the life we now have. You always ask coaches, who's your hero? And there's a pass over the middle that's dropped by Naeem Simmons. And it did not take Alex Golesh long to answer that question when you asked him yesterday that his parents are his heroes.
Yeah, and you can see why with the story that he has. And, you know, being a head coach for the first time, he said his dad was tearing up after their win last week against FAMU. And I'm sure he's proud of the way he's got his team coming out here playing today.
Now he needs an answer, though, because his offense missing on first down, only a yard on second down as James Smith brought down K'Wan Powell, faced with third down and a long 8 close to 9. They stack their receivers. Play clock with plenty of time on it for Byron Brown. He's under pressure again. He's running again. He's brought down again, well short of the first down at the 23-yard line by Lawson and Campbell.
We've said it time and time again, their best offensive play, although they didn't get the first down there, has been to spread out the defense and to give Byron Brown opportunities to knife lanes as a runner. Smart decision here by head coach Alex Golesh to not go for it this deep in your own territory, but now they're going to need their defense to try to keep this Alabama offense from catching fire. They haven't been able to move the football, but their only touchdown came when they were able to hit a big pass play. Let's see if they can keep them under wraps.
Stokes, a wobbly kick to the sideline, takes a USF bounce and will continue to roll inside the 25 all the way down to about the Alabama 22-yard line. So Andrew Stokes gets the job done. 56-yard punt, but tough sledding right now against this Alabama defense. In honor of Extra Yard for Teachers Week, ESPN is celebrating the role of teachers and their dedication to support each student's development inside and outside the classroom. On behalf of the College Football Playoff Foundation and ESPN, we recognize your passion, commitment, and the work that goes into ensuring your students succeed. South Florida offensive lineman Andrew Kilfoyle nominated Mrs. Ileana Bermudez Luna, chemistry teacher from Steinbrenner High School in Lutz, Florida. And we have a $1,000 Donors Choose gift card for Mrs. Bermudez Luna at Steinbrenner High. You can use that towards school resources that you and your students need.
Well, I tell you what, Bob, our teachers out there deserve to be paid more because they have the future of our entire country in their hands.
Amen. Ty Simpson, a hand to Chase McClellan, and he is shown the turf for a loss of 1 by Day-Day Evans.
Man, Day-Day is everywhere today. Blitzing off the edge, making tackles for loss, making plays in the secondary. Look at him talking to himself. He said, man, I could have played Alabama. I'm that man. And he is trying to prove it out there right now.
A ton of time still left in this game. Now Roydell Williams to the right of Simpson in the shotgun. Empties the backfield. Here comes a blitz. Over the middle, on time. Isaiah Bond, first down Alabama.
Simple throws and catches just like that is all Alabama is asking for out of their quarterback. They don't need him to go out there and throw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. They just need him to be consistent, make good decisions, have a high completion percentage, and maybe hit 220, 250. They haven't been able to get that so far, but that was a very nice pass right there by Ty Simpson.
And he's hit on 4 in a row after an 0 for 4 start. So up to 4 of 8 passing, 66 yards. All 4 USF sacks have come courtesy of Ty Simpson. Roydell Williams pushes ahead for 3.
Bob, the question I have for Alabama as they're, trying to secure this win. have they figured out who their quarterback is? Because I don't think that they have. I think that right now they're coming out of this game with more questions than answers at the quarterback position because they played 2 new guys, and 4 of 8 from Ty Simpson and 5 of 14 from Tyler Buckner isn't truly what they were expecting coming out of this game.
Simpson double clutch it, sacked for the 5th time. Guess who? Day Evans in the backfield.
It was Day again. Watch him. You're going to see him right off the edge. Everyone in the stadium knows he's blitzing. And these big 300-pound offensive tackles just cannot block him. 8 tackles.
He's all over the box score.
3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, a PBU. This man is playing everywhere. Who is he, Travis Hunter?
3rd down and 11. How frisky are you getting with your play call here if you're Alabama?
I mean, it's 3rd and 11. They clearly don't trust the quarterback right now, so...
Here comes the blitz again. And there's a down and out to Jermaine Burton, but nowhere near the 1st down. So they did let Ty Simpson throw it, but he certainly didn't push it far enough down the field. Burton finally with a catch. Amaris Brown bumped him out, and we've got an injured player, and that is Amaris Brown, shaken up. So while we have an injury timeout, we will step aside. 9 minutes to go in the game. Wow, we had Michael Penix Jr. on opening day.
Oh, yeah.
Up at UW, and he looked like he was on his way to being a year-long Heisman contender. Certainly helping his cause today. Here's a punt return. Well done by Sean Atkins to catch it in traffic and bring it back 9 yards. Pretty good field position for USF as we take a look at this week's college football playoff rankings brought to you by Allstate. Florida State went right down to the wire against Boston College but survived. Alabama right now against USF up by only a touchdown as we approach the midway point of the 4th quarter, and for the most part the rest of the top 10 holding serve. Georgia took a while for them to open up a 2-score lead against South Carolina.
Yeah, you talked about that Washington game and Michael Penix Jr. I've been really, tracking what he's been doing since last year. Used him in my Heisman finalist last year. He's a lefty, but he throws it just right. But I know you were really invested in that Boston College game.
Very much so. Brown, incomplete. Threw it at the feet of Jason Littlejohn, and he is slow to get up. If he does get up, he took a shot.
Yeah, he did take a shot. But...
And Brown up on his knees and now fighting it off. He is a warrior.
Yeah, you're going to watch this hit. Brian Brown with the fake out, steps up in the pocket. Oh, my God. He got shot out of a cannon right there.
Chris Braswell with the shot to Brown. 2nd down and 10.
All 6'3", 255 pounds of him just got launched into Byron Brown. I can tell you from firsthand experience, that does not feel well.
The give for Naquan Wright. 3rd down and 6, maybe 7 coming up for USF after Jamarian Latham made the stop.
Who from USF is going to step up in the passing game? The quarterback has pushed the ball down the field multiple times, but one of these receivers has to make a special play, and that's a tall order against these NFL caliber corners.
4-man rush, slant left, reaching back to make the catch is Atkins, but he's short of the 1st down. Brown didn't lead him, and now it is 4th down and 1. Again, they have gone for it 5 times and converted only once. It looks like they might go for it a 6th time, and this could be the game. Inside their own 40-yard line on 4th and 1.
Like we said, if you're going to fail big. You got to go for it. Show your players that you trust them.
And are they going to line up to try and play bully ball against the Alabama defense again?
It didn't work last time.
They are. Pulling it down is Brown. Into the right flat. 1st down, Weston Wolf. That time they fake bully ball and slip one out to the tight end. Well done by the Bulls.
Well, it appears that Weston was a wolf in sheep's clothing, and he snuck out of the backfield. And watch this. Hit him with the hurdle. I don't know if you knew, but there's a Diamond League in Eugene, Oregon today, and he was inspired by some of those hurdlers out there.
Terrian Arnold whipped, and it's a first down for USF. Coming up on 7 minutes to go in regulation time. Atkins in motion. Play action for Brown. There is Atkins. First down and more. Down to the 41-yard line of Alabama. Jahad Campbell made the stop. That's a gain of 15.
Like I told you at the beginning of the game, Byron Brown has a great rapport with number 38, Sean Atkins, and his coach said there is nothing too big for this young man, so I'm not surprised here in the fourth quarter that that's who they're going to.
Play action again. A shot into double coverage, and it's intercepted in the end zone. Malachi Moore floats under the shot from Byron Brown and gets a takeaway for the Alabama defense. Michael Brown-Stevens, the intended receiver, and that looked like a Byron Brown force. And Malachi Moore made him pay for it.
Yeah, Byron Brown forced it down the field into double coverage, but I'm trying to figure out how did the DB play it better than the wide receiver? But hey, you take them how they give them to you, baby.
And we are back here in Tampa. 10-3, Alabama on top of USF. We were just saying during the break, maybe you heard us. If I'm in that offensive huddle for Alabama after a takeaway like that, and maybe you start to really impose your will at the line of scrimmage with that big offensive line, I would think RG3, the goal here has to be USF does not see the football again, right? 3 or 4 first downs with the run game. They use their timeouts. You can end the game on this possession if you can run the football from your own 20-yard line.
100%. Look, the game has not gone the way that Alabama has wanted it to, or how the fans of Alabama watching the game have wanted it to. But you got 6 minutes and 29 seconds. USF should never see the football again. Yes, your offensive line hasn't played great today. Yeah, your quarterbacks really haven't played great either. But if in this moment you can establish the line of scrimmage and win the football game, at the end of the day, that is all that matters. Getting out of here with a win for Alabama, and then you can figure out what you're going to do to fix your offensive line and get consistency at the quarterback position.
Because the SEC schedule begins next week for the Tide in Tuscaloosa against Ole Miss. And then there are no weeks off in that league. As we take a look at the quarterback comparison today, again, Jalen Milroe was benched by Nick Saban. And Tyler Buchner got the start. He's replaced by Ty Simpson. So this has been a quarterback carousel in a 2-week period that leaves so much uncertainty going forward.
As they say, 2's a party, 3's a crowd. And right now they've got a crowded quarterback room. And if I had to rank their quarterbacks based off just what I've seen from this year, it clearly is Jalen Milroe number 1, Ty Simpson sitting there at number 2, and then Tyler Buchner at number 3.
And next week, conference play begins.
Oh, you know Lane Kiffin is just licking his chops right now, saying he can't wait to see this version of an Alabama football team. But it's a week-to-week season. Alabama simply just has to put out the fire of the South Florida Bulls, because if not, when we get down the stretch here, the last 1-2 minutes of the game, the crowd is going to become even more of a factor. The student section's been going crazy all day long. We've been saying it, you don't want to give a team that you feel is not as talented as you a chance. This is their opportunity to take the chance completely away.
And our schedule there was missing the Iron Bowl, but of course they've got Auburn to close out, as they always traditionally do on Thanksgiving weekend. At the end of the season, 189 straight regular season games without back-to-back losses. And they're trying to protect the touchdown lead here with Roydell Williams lined up behind the big offensive line. And there is the straight-ahead run. Powers his way for 3 yards. And even the loss last week to Texas, that ended for Alabama a 57-game win streak against non-conference opponents in the regular season.
Wow. That's how dominant Alabama has been. And it's, you know, the main reason all of their fans get upset at the slightest scene of a weakness.
Let's see how far they take the play clock down before they snap the football. Simpson takes the snap with 9 on the play clock. Roydell Williams bounces it to the left-hand side. He's in the open field across the 50 and finally slides down inbounds at the 30-yard line of USF. Well, a chunk play in the run game just as good, 47 yards.
Yeah, Roydell Williams just making it say, you can't touch this. Look at him. Look at those thighs. Look at him running down the football field. That is power. That is what we're used to seeing from Bama backs. They certainly have them. They just have to give them running lanes like that more frequently.
And they go right back to him. For a yard and a half, Jalen Schuler made the tackle for USF. And now USF has to sell out because with 5 minutes to go in the game, granted they have their timeouts, but a field goal here is as good as a touchdown for Alabama. They end the game for all intents and purposes if they go up 2 scores.
And you say, as you see on the screen, their defensive coordinator, Todd Orlando, hey, they need to sell out. That's what they've been doing all game, Bob. They've been bringing the house, bringing pressure, so this is no different for them. They just got to find a way to come up with an opportunistic play here on defense.
Now Jam Miller in the game at tailback with the 2 tight ends. Running the opposite way, though, is Simpson. The quarterback gets sawed in half at the 23-yard line. Good hit by Tavin Ward.
You know, really good ballsmanship here by Ty Simpson. Gets Day-Day Evans to, stop his feet and not know where the quarterback's going to be. You don't want to see him take that hit there at the very end. But, hey, like I said before, this is crucial. You're trying to get as many yards you possibly can here at the game, at the end of the game. So, nice job by Ty Simpson getting out there trying to get jiggy with it.
You wonder if this is USF's last best hope to get a stop here on 3rd down and maybe hope for a field goal miss. 5 on the play clock. Boots in motion. Hand off Miller. The pile moves. The play not dead yet. Now it's dead. About 2 yards shy of the 1st down. And I think Alex Golesh called a timeout. So Alex Golesh calls time. 3:41 to go. It's 4th down and 2. And if Will Reichert comes out and puts one through here from, he's an NFL level kicker from medium range. That's a 2-score lead for Alabama with 3.5 minutes to go.
The question you have to ask yourself if you're Nick Saban is, are you just trying to get out of here with a win, or are you trying to send a statement to your players at the end of the game? Listen, we're going to trust you. It's 4th and 2. We're going to end the game with the ball in our hands as opposed to kicking a field goal and giving USF an opportunity on offense to try to go score. I understand the philosophy of making it a 2-score game, and I personally would kick the field goal, but I also would have started Jalen Milroe in this game. And Nick Saban is one of the greatest coaches of all time. He can do whatever he wants in this moment. We'll see what he decides and what his temperament is.
Wow, you're looking at a 39-yard field goal here for Will Reichert, who's the leading scorer in Alabama history. And instead, they are going to go for it on 4th down and 2, unless it's a hard count, to see if they can get USF to jump. Maybe then call a timeout of your own and send the field goal group out. But will they give USF a chance to get a stop? And there's the jump. The hard count does the job. A killer mistake is made by DJ Gordon.
Offside. Defense. Number 8 with contact. 5-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
DJ Gordon, the 4th, is one of their best players. And in one of the biggest moments of this game, he makes a mistake. But you got to tip your hat to Ty Simpson going up there as a quarterback, using the hard count. We've seen some of the greatest quarterbacks ever use the hard count to their advantage. And Ty Simpson just did it right there for Alabama.
Roydell Williams. Off the middle, he finds pay dirt, but a flag is down. A flag thrown back at the line of scrimmage.
holding, offense, number 74, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That breathes a little bit of life back into this game for USF. The hopes that they would have to get one more try with the football, as that moves it back to the 26-yard line. So if they can get stops right here, it would be a much longer field goal attempt.
They called the hold on Caden Proctor, number 74. Just penalties, penalties, penalties. Taking more points off the board for Alabama. Just constantly hurting themselves.
Roydell Williams finds room up the middle again. And he's right back to the 15-yard line in the red zone again. Jalen Stokes made the stop, but he picked up 12.
I tell you what, between Jace McClellan and Roydell Williams, I think Alabama may have found their recipe for success the rest of the year. Lean on these two backs. You got another couple guys back there as well. Justice Haynes, Jam Miller. And let them carry you through the SEC season until you find who your quarterback is going to be.
And now they are bleeding the clock down. Roydell Williams again. Maintains his balance to the 6-yard line, close to a first down.
I mean, I want you guys to watch the agility in the backfield here by Roydell Williams. He's got a free guy there, Day Evans, who's been making plays all day. And it was almost as if he hit a jump cut, tucked the ball, and got off to the side.
Timeout.
And Roydell Williams just fine with that timeout because he's walking over to the huddle going, I can keep eating. Yeah. Now they're going to give me a rest.
Exactly. And I don't know what he's eating or drinking, but give me some of it because he is, even late in this game, it's almost as if he has gotten better the more carries he's gotten. So maybe Bama needs to take a look at themselves and say, all right now at the quarterback spot, we need to throw the ball between 15 to 20 times and run the ball 40 to 45 times because it gives us our best opportunity to play high-level football.
Well, for Roydell Williams, the first half, 5 carries for 4 yards. In the second half, 10 carries for 121 yards.
Oh, my Lord.
And obviously that long rip on this drive to put them in range to put the game away was the explosive that they needed from the ground game. And now life support for USF. They've got 1 timeout left. It is 3rd down and 1 at the 6-yard line. And they need a miracle. They need the ball to pop free, you would think, to have a chance to win. Quarterback sneak, and that will put Ty Simpson across the line to gain inside the 5-yard line for a first down with only 1 timeout left for USF.
One of the hardest plays to stop in all of football, the quarterback sneak, especially when you got 350-plus pounds of man meat up there leaning on that USF Florida Bulls defensive line. Finally, that size is paying off for Alabama.
Roydell Williams makes a man miss, spins down to about the 1-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal. And let's see when USF, again, hoping for that miracle, opts to take their final timeout. It looks like Alex Golesh right now is letting the clock run. And Alabama will take it down inside of the final 90 seconds. At the 1.5-yard line. 2nd down and goal. Roydell Williams at the goal line. He's brought down short. About a foot shot with a minute to go. And now I would think USF is forced to call their final timeout, are they not?
Yeah, you would think they would be, but the Bulls are fighting to the very end, and the ball almost popped out right there from Roydell Williams' hands. He's got to make sure he runs through the end zone, breaks the plane, and scores a touchdown here because the Bulls have really shown themselves great today.
But by not calling their final timeout, even if they were to get a stop, the game would be all but over. There's the quarterback sneak. There's the push for Ty Simpson. And there is the salted away touchdown for Alabama.
I already told you guys, quarterback sneak is one of the hardest plays in all of football to stop. Honestly, it's the definition of an HBO type of play. Quarterback takes a snap, gets in back behind those big offensive linemen, and they help a brother out, get into the end zone.
So Reichard now on for a point after attempt. And this will be an ugly 17-3 lead for Alabama, but they'll take it with where this game was at halftime. By the way, Dan Orlovsky getting ready for Monday Night Football. Booger McFarland alone in the studio today with Kevin DeGandhi has sounded giddy all day with no Orlovsky there as we go back to Kevin.
Bob, especially with LSU getting a win. AT&T 5G keeping fans connected as we take a look at our multi-view, which is showcasing a bunch of great games. We got Tennessee right now up 7-6 in the Swamp on ESPN. BYU Arkansas over on ESPN2 with the Razorbacks up. And Ole Miss, you guys mentioned Ole Miss underway against Georgia Tech on the SEC Network, 3-0 against Tech. They got Bama next week. And also coming up on ABC, we're 2 minutes away from kick. The backyard brawl from Morgantown, West Virginia, hosting Pitt. Back to you.
So the backyard brawl's coming up next as Pitt, West Virginia is set to kick only about 2 minutes from now. And hopefully we will get it to them ASAP with 33 seconds to go. And Alabama now up by 2 touchdowns. Another touchback on the kick. And Alabama, when they needed a put-the-game-away drive, they got it, especially on the ground with Roydell Williams after the takeaway as Malachi Moore set it up with the pick.
Malachi Moore certainly wants more of those, and then it was the Roydell Williams show. My man was booking, getting down the sideline, carrying this Alabama offense, and then, of course, Ty Simpson gets the crucial offsides on 4th down, and then his offensive line helps a brother out and gets him into the end zone for the touchdown. Can't say enough about Roydell Williams. I know he's made my main man, Mark Ingram, Trent Richardson, and Derrick Henry proud today.
Byron Brown checked down to the sideline for Naeem Simmons. And you know what? One other shout out we have to give Eli Gold, the longtime voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, who is not traveling with the team, but is at home. He's doing the home games in Tuscaloosa, but unable to travel as he continues multiple health scares and trying to come back from his recovery from cancer. So, Eli, for all of us, if you are out there listening right now, you can't get back soon enough. Alabama football is not the same without your voice attached to it home and away. And it looks like Byron Brown going down here with this sack might be the final snap, and that will be, as Alex Golesh has decided to end the game on that play. He is already walking across to shake hands with Nick Saban. 17-3 Bama will be your final. It was not aesthetically pleasing if you're a Crimson Tide fan, but it still goes in the win column. For Robert Griffin III and Chris Budd, I'm Bob Wischusen. Thanks so much for watching. After the break, Pitt and West Virginia. Enjoy it.